Orphan Trains refers to the trains that took poor urban children to Midwestern and Western states to be placed with foster parents. The original program was started by Charles Loring Brace of the Children's Aid Society and soon had many imitators. It began around 1850 and lasted for nearly 80 years. The number of children estimated to have been placed out on the orphan trains is over 250,000.
In New York, overpopulation due to immigration was causing problems for the citizens. Tenements were built but were extremely dangerous. Four to 16 families lived on one floor of the house, and there were 7 to 8 floors in total. The abundance of people in a small environment was hazardous. People were trying to find jobs so that they could live and support their families comfortably, but most people struggled. Many families cannot afford their children, and they were sent to live in orphanages, or in some cases, on the streets. Because of these reasons, people decided something must be done to help. The Children's Aid Society was developed in 1853 by Charles Loring Brace and other businessmen. The Children's Aid Society's goal was to care for neglected children of New York City. Children were taken in groups of 10 to 40 with a Western agent, and they traveled out west by train to selected stops where they were adopted by editors, store owners, or teachers. The general idea of the Orphan Trains was to have children be taken from poverty-stricken families and brought out west where they could be provided food, shelter, and education. Families thought that this would be the best for their children, and that they would develop a good work ethic by working on a farm and could become responsible adults.
A lot of them just had like a cardboard suitcase if they had any belongings. So they'd go to different stops throughout the country, and they would literally put them up on blocks for people to take them home.
When the train landed in a town, the children were fixed to be inspected. They were given nicer clothes, they fixed their hair, and they had to look presentable. After, they gathered in a common meeting place, typically with a stage. The children stood on the stage, which is how the phrase, being put up for adoption, was developed. Muscles were felt and teeth were checked. Usually, one child was adopted per family, so siblings could be separated. There was some background checking, but not nearly as much as today. Most boys were adopted for labor and used on the farm. Girls were adopted for domestic uses and helping around the house. Most children had no idea what was happening to them, and they didn't know what to expect for life out west. Children were afraid to leave and start a new life in an unknown land. Younger children were scared, whereas older children were nervous about adjusting. Not all children went to good homes. In certain situations, girls were physically abused and raped. Boys were mistreated and used for labor, like workers.